Hello everyone. In today's video, I'm going to share with you 5 sewing secrets you may or may not have heard of before. These sewing secrets are completely random and not related to each other, but they are things that I've learned along the way and I want to share with you. Welcome, my name is Amy and welcome to my sewing space and welcome to my sewing channel. So if you are new here, I'd love to have you subscribe if you like this kind of content. If you are a subscriber, welcome back. I appreciate it. So let's get started with number 1. This is so cool. I know we are in the middle of winter right now, but at some point we're gonna wanna make sundresses and we're gonna need to know the easy way to make your spaghetti straps for your shoulders. So I'm gonna show you. So you're going to need a straw, you will need a bobby pin, and you will need the fabric that you're going to sew into your strap. I've already sewn this piece together. It's a little bit wider than a typical spaghetti strap, but for demonstration purposes, it's going to work just fine. So what you're going to want to do is just sew your straight line down the spaghetti strap tube that you're making. And before you get to the end, don't backstitch. You can backstitch, but don't cut your thread or don't use the automatic thread cutter button on your machine. Lift your presser foot and pull up your needle and then pull the thread out at least as long as the straw that you're going to use. So you can't really see this too well, but it's about as long as the straw that I'm going to use. Then you can take a bobby pin or a safety pin, something that's got a little bit of weight to it and something that's at the end that you can tie around it. And what I'm going to do is put my thread through the bobbin pin. So pretend like it's hair and it's going to go to the bottom of the bobbin pin. So it'll look like that. And I'm going to tie that at the end. I'm just going to tie a couple knots around that. And it's fine because you're just going to cut it off later on. Once you have your thread tied to the bottom of the bobby pin or safety pin or whatever you're using, then what you will do, this is so cool, by the way, is take your loop and put the straw through the middle of it. And you've got your thread hanging on one side with the bobby pin hanging on one side. Then go all the way up to the top. And this is the end with the bobby pin in it. So I'm going to put the bobby pin in that and it's going to fall to the bottom. And you'll see that it's slipping out the bottom. So then you will just gently pull that bobby pin through. So you're pulling the thread through and you may have to help the fabric to start kind of going down in there. So use your fingers, kind of help it down, and then just keep pulling on the bobby pin. Keep guiding your fabric down there too. You don't want to break the thread in the middle of it because that will defeat the whole purpose of how easy this is. But just keep pulling the bobby pin gently and pushing this up. At some point your fabric will come out the other side and it's going to be the spaghetti strap turned right side out and ready for you. So how easy is that? That's so much better than trying to maneuver it with a safety pen or anything like any of the other tools that are out there. I just love the straw method. So give it a try and let me know what you think. The next topic I want to cover is laying out your fabric and your pattern pieces and pinning your pattern piece to your fabric to get ready to cut. You have to be, I know this is probably not the most exciting part of sewing, but when you're getting your pattern piece ready and your fabric ready, you need to be so precise and accurate when you're cutting out the pattern piece on your fabric, because any little shift of the pattern piece or shift of the fabric below it might make it go off grain line or off bias, however you're cutting it, and it's not going to make the garment fit the way you want it to. So when I first started sewing, I would lay my fabric on the carpet and I would lay my pattern piece on there, and I didn't really think about it too much, but I would have maybe 3 or 4 pins around the pattern piece and then cut it and then think, why is this not fitting right under my arm or around my waist or somewhere? I would always think something's just off. Well, I wasn't pinning it enough and accurately. So let me show you what I mean. So this is a pattern piece of a skirt that I want to make with a striped fabric. So in this particular case with striped fabric, you definitely want to make sure that you've got your fold lined up on the stripes. I like to iron my fabric before I'm cutting out my pattern piece, just to make sure that the fabric is going to lay really nice. So in this case, I have pinned it all the way around. So I like the hand method of pinning. So pretend like I have a pin right here, and then I put my hand there, and then my next pin's going to go right here, and so on down the line. And that way I know that most important parts of the fabric, the pattern pieces, are getting a pin, and I'm going to have a much accurate cut when I cut the fabric. The other thing that I wanted to mention that relates to tip number 2 is every so often you're going to have to buy yourself some new pens, and you'll be able to tell when you're ready to buy some new pens because they might be a little bit harder to get into your fabric. They do get dull, they do get burrs on them, so every now and then go buy some new ones. And besides, it's fun to go shopping. The other thing is you'll need to replace your seam ripper every now and then too, because that section in the middle, that sharp section in the middle, it'll get dull after a few uses, and you'll be able to tell because it'll be harder to get through your seam or your threads that you're trying to rip out, especially if you're seam ripping quite a lot of denim. So not that I would know, but I do kind of know because I've had some experience with that. The next tip I want to show you today has to do with the J-foot, or you might have a presser foot that looks like this, and it's got this black button on the side. Have you ever wondered what that's for? Well, I'm going to show you. This is actually to level out your presser foot as you're sewing over thicker types of fabrics. So think seams over denim. Let me give you some ideas. So that mysterious black button is designed to level out your presser foot as you're going over thicker seams. And I didn't know this, but it's pretty cool. So let's take a look, and we're gonna pretend like that this is a pair of jeans, even though it's a scrap fabric off of a pair of jeans. But if I had to hem this up, then I would be hemming along. And if I knew that I was coming up to this thicker seam, then I'm gonna start sewing it for you. So as I get close to that seam, and the front of my presser foot starts to go up that little hill, I can press in this black button. Let me go a little further. I can press in this black button so it presses in when it's going up, and it knows it needs to level itself out. So when it goes over that hump and starts to level out, that black button will automatically release itself, and then you can continue sewing as normal. But it definitely helps you get over those thicker seams when you're sewing over denim or anything like heavy like that. So that's the black button. The last tip I want to share with you today has to do with your sewing machine. So you need to clean it. You need to maintain it. So you may not know this, but the actual plate can come off of here. You can take your bobbin out of there. You can take, this is for top loading bobbins, of course. You can take the bobbin case out, and you can look in there and use the little brush that came with your machine, or a Q-tip or something like that, even a pipe cleaner, and just get in there and make sure you got all the dust out of there. Check around these edges too and see if there's any lingering dust. What you don't want to do is blow on it. And you might be tempted to use those air pressurized air cleaners that you use on a computer keyboard, but don't do that, because all of this equipment in here is just, it's so delicate. You wouldn't want to break something. So take care of your machine. It's going to take care of you too. Thanks so much for watching today's 5 tips for sewing success. And I know they were quite random tips all over the place, but hopefully you learned something. And if you like this type of video, please click that thumbs up button at the bottom, and that helps YouTube send this video out to more people that are learning how to sew that this might be helpful for. So with that, I will say happy sewing, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.